How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to episode number 2 of Beardsly's Daily Dose. I am your host, Beardsly. I am joined today with my 2 closest friends, Jake and Christina.
Hello.
Hi. And we are here to bring you another daily dose of us. Just the things that we want to talk about. We've found some interesting topics on Reddit today to go over and discuss, and we're hoping that it's going to be a great time, and it will be a great time because we're great people. So how was your guys' week? I know it's been a week since we recorded last.
Oh, God. So the kids started school this week, so it's been just full of trying to get back into the swing of all of it, and I hate waking up in the morning, so that sucks, but I'm doing it, and so far so good. Just hectic, crazy.
Yeah, same. My kids went back to school too.
I hate the pickup line. It is probably one of the worst times of my life.
Right. Jake, how was your week?
Well, my kids are firmly seated in between my legs, so my week has been really calm. I got sick. So I've been dealing with that, but I also...
Why you sound a little...
Yeah, I sound a little more extra smoldery, and my voice is a little extra lully you to sleepy, that's because I'm sick.
That's exactly what I was saying in my head.
Yeah, I know. I know. So yeah, I'm good though. Just living the dream.
Right on. All right, well, we are going to just hop right into this first topic. Jake's got the first topic that we're going to talk about today, so go ahead and take it away, my friend.
All right, I picked this one because it seems like something I would do. Again, I didn't read it beforehand, so I'm solely basing this off of the title. And the title is, the post comes from the Dungeons and Dragons Am I the Asshole Reddit community. Which is, if anyone's interested, is r/DNDAITA, DNDITA. Anyway, Smart G23 reads, am I the asshole for T.P.K-ing my party and causing someone to quit playing D&D forever? Context. I'm a long-time DM for a really long campaign that has been going on for a couple of years now. Just me and a couple friends taking D&D. Occasionally, new players from different friend groups would show up, and we would derail the sessions every now and then for another player to DM or for one-shots. This is written pretty bad. B, the group's 4th mainstay player joined in after around 1 year of playing. He showed interest since the start, but couldn't join due to a critical year of high school and repeating a year. C, all the players have a long history of fights between different members and mainly the 4th player. Me being the oldest and the one friend connecting them, I always feel responsible for trying to mediate fights and fix relationship grudges. So that's context, and this is where the story begins. Right. We have a rogue, a cleric turned paladin, and the problematic player being a rune knight barbarian. The game is a perfectly average D&D world, but the idea of rare and legendary items are available to everyone, and they are cheap. Like, for 50 gold, you can get a flame tongue sword with custom fire effects and damage types. I want to play in that world. I love the items. Like, when we're doing a dungeon, and this is an off-topic, doing a dungeon, and nothing cool comes out of it, I am always left feeling a little unsatisfied. Anyway. So if anybody ever DMs a game for me, just keep that in mind.
Will do.
I always made available upgrades and magic items from books that will provide feats to rings that change character abilities to whatnot. Again, written kind of strange, and I keep asking my players for ideas and anything they'd like to be put in the game. So my fully decked out party, while being between level 14 and 15, they can handle killing ancient dragons and the like on a regular basis. And they are usually accompanied by an NPC with a clear set of abilities, an alchemist that gives haste, etc. I made sure to not make overpowered encounters against them, but use enemies that play to their weaknesses or nullify some of their abilities. e.g., make the party fight a Cybriax who can't be sneak damaged by stealth alone, or the party's necrotic DPS facing an enemy with immunity to necrotic damage. Making sure everyone gets their time to shine and have fun role-playing and planning. The issues really simmered after our problematic player had a few nasty fights with everyone involved, except for the DM, and he held a deep-seated grudge against everyone and the DM for not standing with him, in quotations, against the other players. But everything cooled down after a while. The adventures continued, and the party took part in a tournament, explored multiple dungeons, killed a dragon, went to hell and back, had an argument with a few gods, and all was fine. Until after an especially harrowing exploration into a dungeon made by a crafty goblin that has been causing problems to the party. The party, after barely making it through a fight and one player having to roll death saving throws, they started berating the barbarian for almost killing them. This caused the barbarian to lash out at the party, sticking for the rest of the session, then to be leaving them to head to the final BBEG lair. Taking with him one of the beloved NPCs who had been with the party for a few sessions. Everyone tried to reason with him, and I ended up doing a one-on-one session with just the barbarian. Long story short, the character ended up dying, causing the NPC to sacrifice herself for him so that he can go on. He ended up going deeper into the dungeon to die at the hand of the BBEG. The player never forgave this and threw a fit about how all of this is unfair and how bad I am for not making D&D fun. I took it in stride and managed to calm another fight between the players. Everyone, fortunately for different story reasons, decided to use new characters and give a little break for the older ones. There's always some tension from the players, and I tried my best to diffuse everything. About 15 sessions with the new characters, the party fought a different boss who had some of the abilities of dead NPCs they had and the runes of the old Rune Knight for story reasons. The party made it through a really big boss with different phases, and for 3 sessions they fought the Goliath Chimera. But everyone ended up dying due to really bad rolls, and the boss rolling double nat 20s on his last attack, taking down the problematic player. I did my best making a nice death scene, and everyone saw their loved ones in the afterlife and having the choice to reincarnate or move on. Everyone collectively agreed to make new characters and start with a new party. So this is now, I think, the 3rd set of characters. This caused an uproar with the problematic player, blaming the party for killing his character that he had worked so hard for, and for me making the game not fun and abusing my power just to ruin his fun. That hit a nerve with me after calming everyone down and ending the session asking for notes and if anyone wanted anything for the new party. I called the problematic player, who had just yelled at me for being this unfair to him and how cruel I am, to do all this to him knowing how bad his already is. Gosh. I told the player off on how unfair he's being for blaming the death of his character on the other party members, when they had the same happen to them. And if he still wants to play, he should drop his nasty attitude. D&D should be fun, and it's a party game, not just you. The player ended up stopping to talk to me, and I've known him for almost a decade, and now he blames me for ruining D&D for him. And I can't help but feel guilty. Maybe he was right, and I was too unfair, and I don't think I could DM after this. Please, any advice on how I could have handled this better? So, the first thing I have to say is you could have written this way better. That was a fucking slog to get through.
It sounded really hard.
From what I could gather from this word salad, the one player definitely sounds kind of like a Mary Sue. The T.P.K situation, I don't really get it. I mean, I think it's pretty cool. Like, you guys know, I mean, the game that we're currently playing, there's likely going to be a lot of character deaths.
Right.
But as players, like, you kind of got to go in somewhat prepared for that. Like, I think a lot of mistake that players, especially new players, make, and I'm a fairly new to the whole TTRPG thing as is. I mean, I've only been playing for like 3 years.
Same.
But like when you jump in, like you feel so connected to your character and you're so excited. It's your first character, and then you start playing your first session and you get some good rolls, and like you're getting like I got really into my character. Not the first session, but the second one. I was like, okay, I'm figuring out like how this game works. and I
Yeah.
was rolling some crits on some thieving stuff. I was a Kenku. Like, I loved it. Like, I'm like, this guy is awesome. This is a badass character. But it came to a part where he was going to die, and I'm like, yeah, he should. Like, if something happens, because the DM had asked me, like, are you okay? Like, if he dies, like, we can find a way to make it, retcon it. But I don't think it would make sense for the story. And I'm like, kill him. Like, just let him be dead. Like, that's how you kind of got to be. You got to just understand, one, they're not real.
Yeah.
No
matter how much you think about them after you create them, they're not real. They will never be in existence. They die.
No.
It's a character in your brain that you created.
Right, but I think people put themselves in their characters, and so then when they see them die, they get personally offended. But it's like, no, dude, this guy here, getting to the point where he feels like he'll never play D&D again, he just sounds like somebody who shouldn't be playing it to begin with.
Well,
it's rage quitting. You're rage quitting a TTRPG. Like, come on.
Yeah. Well, it's like you can't play your character like you would do it. And if you're trying to live your character, like it's your character. Like, that's why you're not in. If you wanted to go and fight battles, you'd go to war, you'd go join the military. Like, that's what you would do. But this is your character. This is what you have to play with. And you have to play it as the character. And that character is not perfect. It's not as perfect as you want that, character to be. You want it to be just however you built it in your mind, and you can't have a perfect one every single time. Right. It's sounding like that there was so much hostility in between the DM and the players. It almost sounded like he was just wanting to get rid of the campaign. He wants to start fresh. And I think that him doing that and killing the entire party, it shows the people that can handle it should be there, and he's going to be more willing to just campaign another game for them. He shouldn't feel bad whatsoever for what happened, especially with all the negative stuff that, I don't know if it's he or she, but that person was saying was happening between him and their players, or them and their players. DMs put a lot of time and effort into a game, and it's not just something you just, okay, it's Friday night game night, let's just pull out a game and play it. You have to prepare it, because you have different stories you have to be ready to tell about all the players that are in your campaign. And so a DM puts in a lot of time into their game, and if you don't have players that are playing it to the best of their ability and making it fun for everybody, it throws your game off, and you have to do a lot more to react to the negative players' decisions in that game.
Yeah. Well, from what I'm seeing, like, it sounds like the barbarian character would leave a lot. Like, problematic player would have his character go and do solo stuff a lot. And like, that's another DM choice. Like, I like having solo moments with different characters, because then I can interact with the player a little more directly and like build something up for them. But then we have the group moments, and he's saying a lot, you guys are always leaving me alone. That sounds like he's trying to air out some like subconscious issues. Right. Through D&D, which, it's a game, it's not therapy.
Right. Well, it's really interesting to note that he says that the issues simmered after our problematic player had a few nasty fights with everyone involved. And so, like, to be the fly on the wall in that situation, like, is this one player trying to railroad the team into doing what they want them to do? And I've played and DM'd a few different games that had that sort of one problematic player that is just sort of loud enough and argumentative enough, and just sours the experience for everyone. So I don't think this person is a asshole necessarily for doing a T.P.K. I mean, again, kind of like you mentioned earlier, Jake, right? Like, you're done with it, done with the game, done with the campaign. Or was that you, Devin? One of you said that. Both are so similar. But yeah, I just don't play with that person anymore. Say goodbye to that one person.
And
if they're causing fights with everybody at the table, then why are you DMing for them? Like
Right.
it's sometimes I wish D&D was a little bit more like a multiplayer game, and you could just be like, fuck this guy, let's kick him from the party, and and you don't have to worry about it anymore. But yeah, no, I mean, I think the guy should continue to DM if he wants to, but also it's also sounding like he's maybe just sort of done with DMing for a while, which is also okay because it's a whole lot of work. And to feel like one person can ruin it, or the people that you're running this game for don't appreciate it.
When he said the campaign was a couple of years long, right?
Yeah.
So he's been dealing with this for a couple of years.
Yeah. Well, and then like when it's been a couple of years, and at some point there's going to be this like wild engagement from everybody, right? Like and so like you're excited, and then it starts to fall apart piece by piece, and like people start to argue, and then it's like, okay, like for me, if I'm preparing something for all you guys and we're having a good time with it and we're excited, but then there are two players who are butting heads and it makes things awkward and uncomfortable and whatever, I'm not going to I'm going to want to keep DMing because I like to be in control, but I'm not going to do it for them. I mean, I'm even going to be hesitant inviting one of them back to a game, let alone both of them together.
Right.
I won't put them together anymore.
Right.
So if you know this guy has problems, but you still want to DM, then just pick different people to DM for, and then be a player in another group with the other friends.
Well, it sounds like that player made the choice for him and isn't talking to him. So if you want to continue to DM for the players that were having a good time, and create a new story, because that campaign seemed to be toxic to be, for being so long as it was, and the players having so many headbutts. It just seemed like it was time to start something new, start some new players, start with some new, a new world, a new city, a new adventure. It only awaits you, adventurer.
Total reset.
Yeah, reset. Do I think you were the asshole? Absolutely not. I think that you, as a DM, put in a lot of time and energy into a game for your players to explore and to experience. And if you have an asshole player, that's their fault, not your fault. You're doing what you can. If you were intentionally fucking on this guy and telling him, like, getting him into all kinds of different predicaments, which doesn't seem like that's the case, then yeah, you would be, but you're not. So I think that you are not the asshole.
Yep, I agree. I think it also says here he was a late addition to the party, so I think that is also kind of a red flag. So I don't think that OP is the asshole.
Why would that be a red flag?
Well,
for the new person.
The new person.
I see what he's saying. That the person coming in, like, is fairly new to the people. He's the red flag. I don't think he meant like red flag as warning. I think he meant more like that's the standout. There's the problem. Or
that he's so new and already causing problems.
Right.
Yeah,
well, and it's
could be.
Everything might have been fine until he joined, and then things started to go wrong.
Yeah.
So like, there's your variable.
Yeah.
Right.
The variable. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I understood it as a variable.
I mean, I let late players in all the time, but
I've been a late player, so I'm like, wait a minute.
I think I've exclusively been a late player, except for...
I thought he was talking about you when he said I've late players come in all the time.
I feel like I'm a pink flag at worst.
You mean a light red flag?
Yeah. I mean, you came in late to Shinji Gaiden, and that worked out really well. I mean, you see where that went, so...
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite characters, too. And out of all the games I've started late in, that's the one I felt like was the easiest to slip into.
Well, the Blades rule set is very easy to slip into if you embrace it.
Right.
Yeah.
So, Christina, I'm assuming you don't agree he's the asshole either.
I do not think he's an asshole.
Okay.
I think the other player is an asshole. If he was an asshole, it was for keeping a problematic player around for so long and harshing everyone's vibe.
Word.
Who was the name of that person that wrote that again?
Smart G23.
So Smart G23, we have come to the decision that you are not the asshole in this.
No asshole.
thought process of yours. So continue DMing, give your players a great time. Don't let it take you down. I mean, unless you don't want to DM, but don't let that experience ruin your fun that you can provide for your friends. And if he doesn't want to talk to you, then fuck him. That's all I gotta say.
Just tighten up the grammar. That's it.
Yeah. Hopefully that's not how you put your games out as.
Yeah, that would be hard to play.
Maybe that's
Yeah,
why he
maybe
left.
write better notes and there won't be confusion.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't take any notes when I DM these days. So,
Okay.
anyway,
I don't know how many of you out there play any type of TTRPGs, but if you ever get a chance to, please treat your DM with respect because they put a lot of time and energy into that for you.
and they're just trying to give you fun. They just want you guys to have a nice time.
Yep.
Just think of them as like just moms or dads just trying to make sure their kids are enjoying their night.
Wait.
More so the mom or dad that are trying to make sure the vacation goes well.
Yeah.
There are
Yeah.
people who have moms and dads that try to make sure they have a good life.
I mean, I have to hope.
Wow, is that something we all have in common?
I think I missed out on that.
I think we all forgot to subscribe to that life package.
Just kidding, Mom.
I'm not.
Me either. Right on.
So on the note of problematic players, I guess my rant today is actually something you brought up to me a little while ago, Jake, and something that I have seen on several D&D and like writing Reddits. And it's problematic characters. Now,
Okay.
problematic players, fuck them. Problematic characters, however, bring it on. There's been this sort of turn and like this fear of like, oh, I want to write this character, but he's really fucked up. Is that something I should do in this day and age? Yes. 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 Because people are problematic. Because stories deserve to have problems. Because I don't believe everything should be so dumbed down and everything should be so safe that, oh, I can't even write a character who's bad anymore. No. And I think that maybe in that story, if the player wasn't such a dick, but his character was, and he had a better sense of humor about it or understood why his asshole character got killed. You know, I feel like if you're playing a character in a game or you're writing a character in a story and they are a piece of shit, let them be. It's a small rant today, but that's my feeling.
I like problematic characters.
Yeah, I agree wholeheartedly.
I think we've played together problematic characters, Jake.
I think you're fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we've all kind of played as problematic characters because it adds flair to the story. It adds quirkiness. It adds fun. It doesn't like who is so fucking perfect that all they're doing is going on one adventure and they're going to live and they're going to do everything to the book.
I'll even pose that a problematic character can remain so.
Yeah.
And now there is a satisfaction when you see, a villain arc. But I think I saw something, about a Scar movie coming out, right? Like now we need Scar's backstory and why he killed Mufasa. No, because he's a piece of shit, power-hungry fucking lion. Like we don't need to humanize a lion, first of all. Thank you, Disney. We don't need to humanize every single animal that's ever lived. But also, like, let a character be a piece of shit from start to end. Some people are just static. They don't change. They don't do anything. They start off as a little shitty kid, and they die as some shitty old dude or woman, person, thing.
But I also like they started off pure and then got angrier and
Corruption
angrier
story is
and
great.
angrier and
Yeah.
angrier.
That's a little different. It's a little different to start as a good character and be corrupted. It's almost like a norm where people expect a villain to be turned and transformed into this awesome person at the end of an adventure.
Yeah.
Or like and we just see that a lot in a lot of our movies. The villain either dies or they have a change of heart.
Mm-hmm.
Or they're arrested. Like there's not some magical universe where a bad person is instantly turned into a good person because they decide, I'm going to be a good person today.
Or that one thing happened that made them have a change of heart and open their eyes to see how shitty they were been this whole time. No. That
Right.
actually happens a lot less than I think anybody would want to believe.
Right.
Well, the truth is, villains win.
Yeah.
Villains
Is that
win.
true?
And so I'm reading a series right now that it's a trilogy, and the characters are all problematic. And there has been this arc. I'm on the third book. There has been this arc where it's like, oh, look at this, like good change. And now in the third book, it's all just getting dashed because they are all back in this reality that they're facing, and now all of these bad qualities are coming to the surface because, look, war, tragedy, all this stuff, hard times will bring out your lowest parts.
Brings
Yeah.
out the savage in you because you have to
Right.
be able to survive those things.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I think that problematic players players, like you said, suck, but problematic characters they would be allowed in my campaign too, in a campaign that I did.
I mean, the big bad in my campaign is problematic.
Yeah.
He
Yeah,
calls
is.
women's horrible names, and he kills kids, and he loves it.
Yeah, because
I
it's
swear to God, if that character has a redemption arc, I will quit the game.
it'll be one less
Oh.
player for him to DM for.
Yeah, but
I'll
one
keep
less
playing.
fantastic character actress that he would sorely miss.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Don't worry.
No,
I
he
told
said
you
yeah.
already, villains
You already
win.
said yeah.
All right, guys. Well, I have the second topic of the evening, and I did read this over because I wanted to make sure I knew what I was talking about when it came to this.
Wow, that
this
was a very subtle and beautiful dig. Bravo.
right. All right, guys. I have the second topic for the evening, and it's a pretty good one. I'm pretty excited for this one because I think it's really funny. I did pre-read it a little bit, just to make sure it was something that I think you guys deserve to hear, and this is definitely it. And I could imagine this happening in my lifetime. So this comes from the subreddit Am I the Asshole? Or AITA, for those of you that don't know. And it comes from Can You See 5063. They state, well, the title, Am I the asshole for making my neighbors think I'm in a cult? I, 24 male, am a huge fan of board games, particularly Dungeons and Dragons. I host weekly D&D sessions at my apartment with a group of friends, and it's been our tradition for the last 5 years. We get into it. We dress up, we light candles, chant dramatic incantations, we play some ambient music. I know it's more than the regular player, but we like it and find it funny. Cheers, man. That's cool. Like,
right? That sounds
it'd be
amazing.
really cool. Recently, my neighbors, an older couple in their 60s, moved in next door. They're nice enough, but pretty old school. Anyway, they've been giving me these weird looks lately and avoiding me in the hallway, which I thought was odd, but I figured maybe they just weren't into socializing. Well, last Saturday during one of our sessions, we got really into it. My friend Dave, 23 male, was doing an epic monologue as the evil sorcerer we were about to defeat, and I may have been waving around a fake sword while wearing a hooded cloak. I was cosplaying my rogue character. We were deep in the moment when I heard a knock on the door. I opened it, still in costume, and was greeted by my very concerned-looking neighbors. Before I could say anything, the wife blurted out, "We've seen the people coming and going, the chanting, the cloaks, the swords. We just want to make sure everything is okay." I was caught off guard, and without thinking, I blurted out, "Oh, we're just summoning demons. Nothing to worry about." And then I laughed because obviously I was joking. They did not laugh. In fact, they looked even more horrified. They just mumbled something about being good Christians and backed away slowly. Fast forward to the next morning. I find a pamphlet slipped under my door for a cult deprogramming service. They even included a handwritten note offering to introduce me to their pastor to save my soul. Now my friends think this is hilarious and keep suggesting we lean into it, like start wearing robes to take out the trash or chant in the hallway. I'm honestly tempted to mess with them a bit, but I'm also kind of worried I've legitimately freaked them out. Am I the asshole for accidentally making my neighbors think I'm a cult leader? And should I clear things up or just let them believe it? I think that you should keep doing what you're doing and let your nosy ass neighbors actually come to you and talk to you like a human being and not a Christian, and try to save your soul. One, they could worry about their own fucking soul. Two, if they were any type of good neighbors, they would just see what was going on and maybe stop you in the hallway by yourself and say, hey, what are you guys doing? Like, I'm just curious. And they can, if they don't want to, and they want to continue believing you're in a cult, let them believe you're in a fucking cult.
If they're stupid enough to believe it, let them believe it.
Yeah. They're storytelling in their head. They're playing their own game of D&D. They're seeing witches. And they're trying to find something that's not there because they're good Christians.
Yeah.
Let them pray for you. See if that changes how your gameplay goes.
Maybe you'll get more nat 20s. Or, depending on their prayers, you'll get more natural ones.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to... So... So, two minds of things. One, kind of. I do think he's kind of an asshole. Because, like, there can just be very small-minded, unexposed people out there who are legitimately concerned. And if you take it from, like, they're an uninformed child stance, like, they're genuinely concerned about, you know, the happenings in their house. And, you know, if this guy's in a cult, what if... Well, Nancy, what if we can save his soul? Well, I don't know, Glenn. Maybe we try. I don't know how to talk to him, to this. Okay, so on one hand, sure, okay. But on the other hand, the possibilities of messing with people are so vast and so ultimately harmless, but really easy to pull off that it would be really tempting for me, personally,
Right.
to not have... like, assure them, no, this is just a game, but then, you know, like, how do I do, like, a floating rig and have, like, a little ghost fly up by my window or something?
I guarantee all
It's
three
just
of us
like
would do that.
Nod.
We would all
to
do
be-
that.
Like, to be fair, I am also of two minds of that. Like, there is something to be said about, especially in such a tight-knit community, like with the
Yeah.
apartment complex, of just keeping the peace. But
Mhm.
for like a week, I would amp it up. Like, the next session that I had, I would make it louder, and I would, like, start burning incense, and I would, like, bring in, like, I don't know, maybe, like, pretend to bring in a sheep and, like, have like a sound maker make a little bah noise as I walk
God.
out the door.
Okay, this is now the second episode that we have brought in a farm animal into our situations.
I feel
The
like
first one
this
was-
is too
Company.
much.
Same barn animal rental company.
Right. Yeah, they didn't ban us after all. First of all, let me say one thing. Like, okay, if these people are in their 60s, then they were born
Like, in the 60s.
in the 60s, yeah. So when D&D was being played prevalently in the 80s, they would be in their 20s. They would know what it is.
Yeah.
So the only thing I'm thinking of is, like, if they aren't putting that as an option is because they're so caught up with Jesus that they don't accept any type of game called Dungeons and Dragons because those are
they're also
demons and shit.
They're also the prime age for the 80s satanic panic, with Dungeons and Dragons was also tied into in the 80s, right? And so like they could at least know enough to be like, isn't that the devil summoning game, Nancy?
I guess so. So maybe they do think it's Dungeons and Dragons, and they're still praying for them to get better.
They're definitely good.
Yeah,
Really could be.
yeah. Well, I don't think that, like, you're not doing anything wrong. Like, if you're not causing problems or being loud for other neighbors and nobody else is complaining and these people are just being fucking nosy. They remind me of Ethel and Lucy from I Love Lucy, always being in somebody else's business. It's not who cares? Like, any old person listening right now, mind your own damn business. Who cares what anybody's doing in their life? Go read a newspaper. They still print them. I've seen them.
Also, any old person listening to us, please use whatever retirement funds you have and subscribe to our Patreon.
Yeah, please.
That's got to trickle down sometime, and this is one way you can make sure it does.
Yeah, I'll run a campaign to stop everybody from playing D&D if you send us money.
I will not be playing that campaign. Yes,
Yeah.
yes, I would. I would so play that.
I'm gonna, you know what? I'm gonna write a campaign about where the players are, like adults who, like the main arc is that you all have to somehow come to terms with your religious trauma. And have like your like parents or whatever be like collectively the BBEG and like at the end, yeah, I was thinking about that actually. Have their
You didn't love me enough to pay attention to me, so you put me on the church bus, and they fucked me up too, lady.
I had to learn how to be a different person everywhere I went, so now I'm a druid and I can turn into animals too, bitch. Get fucked.
Oh God.
Oh.
Oh yeah. I think that this is a fucking hilarious thing, and I would totally keep playing it. I would keep it up. I would increase.
You personally, you would absolutely lay it on.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
No, yeah.
I would
do it until
definitely.
I saw the woman crying, and then I would say,
I wouldn't. I'd do it till they moved out.
No, see,
They're gonna move out.
no, I wouldn't want them to move out though, because I would want to just still keep, just slowly, and like trickle down effect, like drip feeding them exposure to the world.
Want to, but then I would feel so bad. I would have to come clean.
That's the problem.
With me personally, I know.
Yeah, because you want to come clean. You want to come clean. We have another friend that does that too. He's like so nice and can't play a simple small joke on somebody because it's like, oh my God, they're gonna think I'm funny.
I can't have that happen.
I can't have people think I'm funny. This is just unheard of.
You have you and I who will attack your greatest weakness just for a laugh.
Take that, bitch.
I don't care if you think I'm funny. I think I'm funny.
Yeah. Well, you're insecure. Good. That's ammo for me.
Rat-tat-tat-tat. Oh God!
Don't you have a laundromat to conquer?
Jesus Christ! Shots literally fired. What the hell is that? Everybody duck and run. Oh God!
Wow.
Don't cry. Okay.
It's fine. I'll wait till we're off camera.
Okay.
or do your
Yeah, you
sadness
wanted
might
me
be
to cry
tears.
on camera last time.
I did. I really did.
Thumbnail can be Jake makes Christina cry, and it'll just be me like with hair coming out of my eyes. It'll just
Here, hold on. You make your evil face. I'll make my cry face. We'll do the thumbnail now.
Perfect. All right, guys, that's what you'll look for next time.
Yeah.
Wow.
Awesome.
Well, what a great second episode.
What a great second episode indeed. I'm super excited about it. We are loving what we're doing. I'm hoping you guys are loving what we're doing. Please let us know down in the comments if there's anything we can do differently. If our audio needs to be tuned up, please let me know, because I can only hear what I hear, and I'm in my 40s. I'm kind of deaf, so I might not hear so well as all you other people out there.
I think it's important to note for people who are listening, like we have a concept of an idea. We have a concept of a plan of what we're doing. And it's not a fully realized one. And I feel like there's a lot of people from the top to the bottom who feel the same. And we're excited to have you grow with us. And so we hope someday you listen back to these first 2 episodes and go, by golly, listen to them all awkward and fresh, and you have a sense of nostalgia as we continue to streamline and professionalize our sound.
Right, exactly. Also, if any of you are listening and are also surfing these subreddits, if you find one that's interesting that you want us to talk about, you can send a link in the comments. You could also send it to beardslyddpodcast at gmail.com, and we will look over them and actually, see if it's something that we want to talk about. If you have your own little weird "Am I the Asshole" thing and you don't want to put it on Reddit, also please send it over to the email beardslyddpodcast at gmail.com.
Especially if you think you are the asshole, because I would love to say that to a real person. Be like, yeah, you are. You're a dick.
Yeah, that would be great. And then don't take offense when we call you an asshole.
You asked for it.
Because the ones that we're reading, like, these people didn't care for our opinion. But if you're actually sending it to us, you must care for our opinion, and we'll tell you straight up, yes or no. And
then take it to heart.
Yes.
Yeah, if you're not, if it doesn't hurt your feelings, I'm not going to do it.
That's a true statement. He is the rudest, nice person I've ever met in my life. This guy can cut you down and then build you right back up 1 second later.
The most gentle motherfucker.
The most gentle.
I just like to help people learn how to laugh at their flaws
that he points out.
Yeah, I mean,
that only he notices.
Yeah. But the thing is I notice the things that only you yourself would notice too, right? And so I'm able to pull it out. But it's okay. And the reason I don't talk about my own other people is because I talk about them to myself all the time. So if you think that I'm not picking on myself more than
or that we're not picking on him either, because we definitely are.
I mean, it's hard to find something to pick on, but
take that hat off.
Oh,
Jesus Christ.
From the block.
Oh God. Yeah, little riffraff. You should dress up as riffraff one time for the podcast. Just have big old chains and just like
famous. And then act like I don't know nobody.
Oh God damn it. All right. Thank you all for listening. If you want to subscribe to us, please check down in the description below. It will have the links to our Discord channel, the YouTube channel, where you can listen to us on Spotify, Apple Music. It'll also have a link to our Patreon if you'd like to join there and subscribe there and help donate to us to keep this going. So please take a look at those. I really want to thank you for coming back and listening for episode 2. If this is episode 1 for you to listen to, go back to last week's episode and listen to that one because it was pretty good too. We look forward to next week's episode and bringing you all of our takes on what we believe is right and just for this world. So everyone take care. Have a
Hell
great
yeah.
night, and we'll talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye.